After nearly 18 months of work, the House Select Committee investigating the Capitol riot has delayed the release of its final report. This is a culmination of the committee's inquiry and is based on more than 1,000 interviews and documents collected from emails, texts, and phone records.
Political science professor Dr. Stephen Caliendo joins us now. Dr. Caliendo, thanks for being here as always. Got to ask you, this full report, clearly highly anticipated. What do you think led to the delay today?
I mean, it's a big report. And I think there had to be some careful consideration on what was going to be included, what was going to be left out. My expectation is that the members of the January 6th committee fully anticipate that anything that they don't release before January 3rd, when the Republicans take over Congress, will never be released. It'll be destroyed or it'll be placed somewhere. And so they wanted to make sure that everything that they could get out, but they had to be careful because there's certainly some sensitive information there. Some of the witnesses, of course, were not comfortable testifying in public, even though all, of course, did testify under oath.
Okay, so explain what happens next, because we know the committee has passed that report on to the Justice Department. The committee itself cannot charge the former president. The Justice Department could. So how quickly might we see charges?
The Justice Department could, with or without the committee's work, with or without the committee's report. Certainly, it was a lot of heavy lifting on the part of the committee, and Congress has a lot of power in terms of subpoena power and so forth that saved the Department of Justice a lot of labor. But now they have the report in their hands, and they've got to make a decision on how to move forward. You don't need a lot of evidence for an indictment necessarily to pursue an indictment, to get a grand jury together. But this is a high-profile case. Certainly the Justice Department and Merrick Garland have been thinking about this for a long time. So it's hard for me to put a timetable on it. I don't know that there'll be any hurry, but certainly it's not the first time they've been considering whether or not to move forward on some of these issues.
Right. So, Professor, as we know, none of the people prosecuted for being at the Capitol on that day have been charged with insurrection. So a lot of people wonder, if that's the case, how can they charge the president for inciting it? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think, there's some legal implications here that may be a little beyond my expertise, but I can tell you that there's a difference between somebody who conspires to do something or intends to do something and the thing that actually happens. I mean, if the argument is that the people that showed up that day didn't know what they were going to be asked to do or got caught up in the moment, that could be argued as different from the person who helped to plan it and had very clear ideas about what he had hoped would happen. I think that's a tough, high legal bar to clear, but it'll be interesting to see what the Justice Department decides to do with this one.
And you said that the Justice Department might take their time with this one. I'm going to argue that point, though, because the president has expressed interest in running in 2024. So do you think that might expedite the timeline? And let's say these charges do come out, could that prevent him from running in 2024?
Well, yeah, I think you're right on that, but Natalie, I just think that when I said that it may take some time, I meant weeks or months, not years. Because I think they could be ready to issue something right at the beginning of the year because they've been working on it already. The 2024 election is looming large. There's no question about it, and it's impossible to disentangle the former president's political ambitions from the legal trouble he finds himself in and from the political turmoil that tends to follow him. And so the Justice Department shouldn't be swayed by that. Their timetable shouldn't be predicated on what happens with an election, but it's impossible for them not to have that in consideration as they're making their decisions.
All right, and so it continues. We appreciate your time, Dr. Caliendo. Thank you so much.